was not a good game last night. Not good at all. That was no good. And we're going to spend some time talking about why it wasn't any good. And we're going to release some of the emotion, Brock. And then hopefully at 7:30, we can start to look ahead and remember that the score of the series is tied 2-2. The Mariners aren't down, much as it may feel that way. But last night was bad. That's a sloppy game. You didn't hit well. You didn't pitch well. You played sloppy baseball, which drives me crazy. That was a real frustration last night.
Gave away 2 outs on the base pass.
Yep.
Let a 41-year-old bark in his manager's face and just shove it down your throat and outduel your rested gun that had been really good at home and just once again didn't have it. What did you like to say in that Tigers series? The first 4 innings for the players, the 5th
Middle innings for the manager.
Yep. And then you finish. Well, these first 3-4 innings, the last 2 nights at home.
Really, the last 3 nights. I mean, let's be clear. Logan didn't really have it either, and they pulled him pretty early in that game, which turned out to be the right thing to do. But Logan didn't have it. I mean, he gave up 3 runs, and fortunately, you built enough of a lead in that one because you got to them offensively. But you're looking at 3 starts in a row, and let's be clear. This team cannot function if three starters in a row can't make it out of the 4th inning.
Correct.
Like that they're not built that way.
Nope.
Not with Emerson Hancock and Carlos Vargas and Luke Jackson and Caleb Ferguson that taking up 4 spots in your pen. Yep. You just and with Brian Wu hurt, you were just not built to have 3 starts in a row that are essentially non-competitive. They're not built for that. So that to me is problem number 1. Problem 2, you've come back home and you're just not hitting the ball, and you've allowed 2 formerly very good pitchers who no longer fit that categorization to just completely dominate you over the course of 2 days, and you surrendered leads in both of them. Last night, though, Brock, you added to that the sloppiness, and that one's really hard for me. I you know me, I can handle getting beat. I really have trouble beating yourself.
Yep.
And you can't give away 2 outs. You can't do it. You can't walk in a run and let up a run on a wild pitch. You can't do that.
Nope.
You can't have that. And then, the one that will probably stand out, obviously you give up an out when you get picked off at first base, Leo Rivas, by a guy who hasn't thrown a pickoff attempt in like 8 years. Literally hasn't thrown one in 8 years. And then the one that just stands out, unfortunately, is this one.
The 0-1 to Gino. Swung on. Looper, right field. It's down a base hit. Polanco racing around third base. He is going to score. The throw to third is in time to get Naylor. The run counts, but Naylor is thrown out at third.
That is a brutal base running mistake. That is an elementary base running mistake, and he knows it. And he's an aggressive runner, and it's helped a ton this year. And he was their best player yesterday, and I hate to criticize it, but that is a killer decision from Josh Naylor.
What inning was that?
That was hold on, 6th. Bottom of 6.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You just can't. I mean, you look through, and there's a whole bunch of reasons why. I kind of went through them earlier, but you're down. First of all, you don't want to make the first or third out of third base. You really can't make the third out of third base. That's just a huge mistake. In the modern game without bunting, I guess you could make the first out at third base. You could make an argument that it's a different game without the bunting, but you can't make the third out of third base. It's nonsense. Secondly, you're down 3, so your run doesn't mean as much. It doesn't matter if you're on second or third. You've got another guy coming up. And, oh, by the way, because the reliever, the lefty, Fluharty, had just been brought in, he still has to pitch to one more batter. And it's going to be Mitch Garver, who's warming up in the on-deck circle, to come in for Canzone there. So you're going to get another righty-on-lefty matchup for a lefty reliever. That's a win for you.
Yep.
With 2 men on, I don't know what happens next. I'm not saying that Garver definitely gets a hit. That would be a big leap of faith. I get it. But you got to at least give yourself the opportunity. So when you start looking at it, Brock, against the weakest bullpen, that's their problem, is their bullpen. So I love the aggressiveness, but you could make the case that without the walks, without the wild pitch, without getting picked off, without getting thrown out at third, what if that game is 3-3 instead of 5-2 in the 6th?
Yep.
And then you are turning to some of, you're getting to Munoz. It's a different game.
Yep.
It's a different game.
Yeah, you never put that pressure on them. This has now been back-to-back nights in your building where they have done to you what you did to them there. And that's largely take the crowd out of the game. That's largely put all the pressure, right? Has Toronto felt any pressure? Has Bieber really felt any pressure? Did Scherzer feel any pressure? Is they put up a crooked number early in the game in both games and just are then able to kind of relax a little bit, and every pitch isn't life and death, and
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, it certainly helps.
And yet, you've had the lead in both of these games. I mean, I think that's also kind of frustrating, is you found a way with the home run ball to take a lead early, but just not able to add on. And then Dan here talking about the base running.
Yeah, I mean, little things. That is what happens in this time of year, and they can make a big difference. And we've talked about that a lot. And tonight seemed like that there were a couple situations that hurt us that way.
And they did. And I get it. I get the text message that comes in this morning, Brock, and says, Salk, leave Naylor alone. He's the last thing to criticize. Yeah. Naylor's been great. I'm not leaving him alone, but you can't do that. Guys, if you can't call out a mistake when it's made, what are we even doing here? I love the guy. Nothing that I saw in that moment tells me not to re-sign him for a whole boatload of money. He's great. Great for the team.
It's further complicated, I think, to that text. What do you have, 3 of the 5 hits?
Absolutely.
I mean, he was the only one that was consistently contributing. The top 4 guys in your lineup go hitless. Their stars are shining, right? I always believe this, and it could happen in turn tonight. Oh, by the way, as this series is just 2-2, and you could go and take a 3-2 lead and put all the pressure back on Toronto, going back in their building where you took 2. But your best players got to be at their best in these biggest moments. I mean, I believe that to my core. When you get to this stage, man, your stars, your difference makers. Yes, it's awesome to have, Polanco deliver in Toronto. I'm sure for Toronto, it's great to have Jimenez hit back-to-back night home runs, huge home runs as a 9-hole hitter. It's awesome. But it's your stars. It's your dudes.
Yep. It's
and
Springer
Cal
and Vlad.
Yep. And for them, it's Vlad, and it's 2 older pitchers. That
it is your stars, but Brock, you're right. When you get it from the number 9 guy, that's a bonus.
Yep.
It is your stars. You got to get it from Cal and Julio the way they've got to get it from Springer and Vlad.
Yep.
But just like Polanco had 3 straight games where he was the most important at bat, you know who the most important at bat has been the last 2 games? Dalton Varsho. He's had the most important at bat in the last 2 games. It was him. That was hey, this moment is teetering for George Kirby, and he ends up hitting the big double, I believe it was 2 nights ago. Yesterday, he's the one who draws the bases loaded walk. When the game is still at that point 2-1 and it's teetering and you're not sure what direction it's going to go. And I would put Varsho very much into the Polanco category. He's not their biggest name. He's not their biggest star. He's not at the Vlad level or even the Springer level, but he's in that next tier just like Polanco is, the way he's played this year and what he's done. And I just that second level guy has such an ability to teeter-totter the game.
Yes.
And in the first couple games, it was Polanco getting it done. And the last 2 games, it's been Dalton Varsho.
Yeah, here's the harsh reality, and all that's true. The Mariners have scored 4 more runs at home once this postseason. And the only time they scored 4 runs, I mean, you might as well insert the meme. Chris Paul hits a huge 3 to cut the deficit to 42 because they got 2 garbage time home runs when they were down by a boatload.
Right.
They got to score runs at home.
Yep.
And you need those second-level guys to step up if you're the Mariners.
So are you more frustrated that they didn't score at home or that they're giving up as many runs as they have over the last 2 games? To me, the scoring, they're both frustrating. So honestly, we're kind of splitting hairs here. But I guess I'm sort of ready for postseason games that end 3-1, 3-2, 2-1. I know that that's how a lot of postseason games go.
Yep.
The frustration I'm having is, look, this team is built on pitching.
Yep.
And, everyone said it. Passan said it. Burkhart said it. I mean, A-Rod, everyone we talked to, the team's built on pitching.
That's right.
You go out and unfortunately lay 3 eggs in a row, and whether they're tired or you got to pitch.
I mean,
you got to pitch.
It would have been one thing if they had a low-scoring game against Kevin Gausman, which they did in Game 1. But when you face Shane Bieber and Max Scherzer at the stage of their career,
I agree with you. Yep, I know.
Well, and their bullpen's not nearly as good as yours, so you should get to them.
You have to, and you got to take pitches in order to do so. You got to work at bats, and they haven't done any of that stuff. I'm not disagreeing with any of it, but at the core, I mean, you're just not built to handle 3 non-competitive starts in a row. You're just not. That's not the way this team has ever been built.